Hello, Markham Gardens family. Daniel Markham here with the Markham Gardens. Guys, it's about that time of year where we can show up at the stores, we go to any of your local nurseries, and you're gonna find bare root plants, guys. They're just starting to show up. Now, I will tell you, I don't have a problem with purchasing these plants. Just make sure that when you purchase these plants, number one, that there's no pests on them, there's nothing like that going on. Inspect them really, really well. And then also make sure that they are compatible with your chill hours in your area. Guys, if you don't know what chill hours are, it's really easy to research, but basically what it is, it's a certain number of hours that that plant requires to be below 45 degrees. I could be off a couple degrees there. I'll put that on the screen if I am off just a little bit. And they require those hours below that temperature to be able to build up the sugars and build up the energy to be able to produce the fruit. So make sure that you're getting fruit trees that are compatible with the amount of chill hours that you receive in your particular area. So, but other than that, guys, I don't have an issue with buying fruit trees from these box stores and things like that. Let me show you what I've got today and what we're going to be using to show you how I pot these up and how we go about doing it. Let me flip you guys around here. So you guys can see right here, today I'm doing elderberries, guys, and I've got three different varieties. We've got an elderberry York, we've got an elderberry an Adams, and then we've also got an elderberry a Johns, and they're going to be slightly different, grow a little bit different. A little bit different berries on them, and so I'm going to do three of them here. Now, I'm going to end up propagating off of these once they're a lot bigger and making a whole bunch of other plants, so I don't have a problem just starting with one tiny one that I buy from the store. And let me show you guys what they do in a matter of a couple years, guys. This is what an elderberry that size does. And this one here is going dormant, obviously. It's still struggling. It doesn't want to go dormant. But this one right here was that size that's in those packages 2 years ago, guys. And you can see, I mean, it has really taken off across here. But anyway, so what I do, guys, is I'll start from these small ones. That way I've got varieties and I can grow them out, and then I'll propagate them off of that other one and create a bunch of these that you see basically like this in this pot right here. And so, but I wanted to show you guys what I've got here. So I've got some good potting soil, guys. This is it's a mix that our chickens have made, guys. We've put this together. They've basically broke down a bunch of wood chips. I went ahead and added in some bark to it. We've got a little bit of your perlite in here. We've got a little bit of our Osmocote fertilizer. It's been raining quite a bit, so it's already starting to expand a little bit. But anyway, get you some good potting soil. It's got some good drainage, got some good compost in there, so it's got lots of food in there for them. And we're coming into probably the end of winter here in our area, and so when these things wake up, they're going to need all the food that available to them that they're going to need to grow throughout that season. So let me go ahead and get you guys set up here and we'll start the process. I've got good soil. I've got some pots. I go ahead and do these 3-gallon pots just to start off, and then they can grow into these. Now, what I do, guys, is I take these plants that I get that are bare root. I always plant them into a pot first. And the reason I do that is because I can take this and I can throw this into the ground, but it's now going to weather the elements, and it's going to have a lot more challenges to it, to growing and establishing root zone and everything else, than it would if it was in a pot. So I like to take all of my bare roots, I plant them into pots, I grow them out, get them really pretty, fill this entire pot, with roots, and then I will plant them out into the garden so that they have a better chance of survival. Once they've got all that root structure that's already on them, they've had all the food, all the water that they've needed in those pots, now I can put them into the ground and they'll have the best chance of survival and thriving really well. So let me get you guys set up here and I'll show you how I go about doing this. All right, guys, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this package here and I'm going to open it up. I'm going to get all of the stuff out of it, right? So I like to use a little pocket knife, guys. I don't want to have to struggle with this plastic. I mean, you can slowly slip it out of this plastic, and that's not a problem, but I definitely prefer to cut them open. So it's just going to be less stress on your plants, less struggle on my part. So all right, so you can see here, guys. So what you're going to end up seeing here is it's going to come wrapped in a paper. So this paper is basically to hold moisture in here. It's to help hold the soil together that they've put it in. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this plastic, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this out of here. So now what you've got is this little capsule, and you've got your plant that's come out of the top. Now the original plant stem is not alive, but elderberries will throw root systems. They'll throw branches off of the actual roots and begin growing. And even the larger ones that you have in the ground, they'll do this. And I basically will take those out of the ground. I dig them out of the ground, repot them, and then I have another plant as well. So this one here's got a few seeds of something in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull those out. It's probably grass or something from wherever the nursery was. And now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna unwrap this, right? So we're just gonna go ahead and unwrap this to expose what we've got here. And I'm going to remove this. And now there may be a heavy root system in here. I don't know, guys. You know, this pellet is supposed to be able to just be put right into the ground, but honestly, I don't know how big the root system is. So what I'm going to start doing is just pulling some of this bottom stuff off until I figure out. See, there's some more grass. I thought that was a root to it, and that's actually just grass. So I'm going to pop this down until I find where exactly this thing begins. Okay, we're starting to get into some root system. You see that root system right there? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this pellet system on it right here. I'm just going to leave this top portion of it on there. We've got two really good stems that are coming out the top here. Those can stay. Those are going to continue to grow. But I'm going to go ahead and place this in the pot. Let's go ahead and fill some soil into our pot. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill this pot up with soil to a point where this basically is going to be sitting about right here inside this pot, guys. So it's going to be, the top of this thing is going to be about half an inch to an inch inside this pot, but the soil is going to come up, like I said, to that level right there. So we're going to go ahead and fill this pot up so that when I set this in there, it's going to be at that level inside that pot. So let's go ahead and do that. Now you can mix this pellet material that I just pulled out of here. You can mix that into your existing soil. That's not a problem. I've never run into an issue with it. There's a lot of people will tell you not to do that because if there is some sort of a disease or there's something going on in that pellet, you don't want to transfer that over into your pot, guys. But if there was some sort of a disease in this, it would already be affecting these right here, and we wouldn't be getting good growth coming out of these right now. So. But, okay, so let's go ahead and grab our pot, and we'll go ahead and add our soil to it. Let me move you guys around here just a little bit so you can see. All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start putting our soil into our pot. And any chunks that you have in the soil, go ahead and break those up. That way we make sure that it's nice and loose for roots when they do start to grow real nice. So as I'm placing soil in this pot, I'm going to go ahead and keep testing, right? I'm going to take my pellet and I'm going to set it down in there and see if I'm high enough yet. I'm almost there. All right, so and you can see, guys, I'm not packing this soil down in here. I'm not pushing it down inside of the pot to make sure that it's all filled out in the bottom. I want this nice and loose and fluffy, guys. I want those roots to just get into it and get excited about growing down into the complete bottom of this pot and filling this pot up. So I am not packing the soil in here. I'm loosely throwing it in there. If you want to, you can give it just a little bit of a shake like that. And that'll do fine as well. But Let's go ahead and get this soil in here. Now, we can take our pellet here. I set it in here. That's about the level I want, guys. This soil in this pot is going to settle some. So I am making it a little bit high, guys. I'm putting my soil level right here exactly level with the top of this, because as soon as I start to water it and stuff, it's going to sink down to about a ½ inch below anyway. So now that I've got this sitting in here, I'm going to go ahead and start filling it around, guys. We're going to start filling in that soil right around this pellet. Now this portion of it, the bottom of this pot, you guys know, I just told you, you want to have that soil nice and loose, and that way the roots can grow down into it really, really easily. But what I do is when I put this pellet in here, I will just lightly pack this soil in, just lightly, guys. Don't do it real hard. You don't want it like concrete or anything, because you want those roots to spread out in the pot too. But I am going to pack it down just a little bit around it. That way I don't have any movement, and I don't have my pellet falling over in the pot or anything like that. So I will take this soil and I'll pack it in just a little bit. That way it holds that pellet in place where I want it. So we'll just keep adding our soil in here. And we're going to get it all the way up to the top here. To the top of that pellet. And what I want to do is I want to just get the soil in there to where I just barely start to cover all I'm going to see of that pellet left is right here on the very, very top, guys. And I'm going to cover that soil all the way around it nice and even. You can see I'm just lightly pressing it in. That way it's a little bit firm on the top. Not real packed, but nothing's moving around, right? So I can move this pot around and the soil's not just falling out when I hold it up sideways, and this pellet's not falling over, and I want it to stay upright and growing upright. So all right, guys, that's it. So we've done the first one. We've got this one planted. Now, one thing you're going to want to do is, even though your soil may be super moist, you are now going to want to take a water hose or something, and you're going to want to water this to the point that you just see the water drain out the bottom of the pot. Once you do that, don't water the thing again until you start seeing some growth, guys. We're in the middle of winter right now, right? So it's 40, 50 degrees out right now. We haven't quite gone up into the growing season. So you don't want to continue to water this because you will get root rot in this. But you do want to water it initially because you want to settle out any air bubbles that are in here, any air gaps that there could be. You want to make sure that it's nice and moist on the inside of this pot. Now, I didn't pack the soil in real tight, so when I water, it's going to go right through, guys. It's going to wash right through all of that soil, which is what we want. We want good aeration for those roots, but we want moisture in there as well. So I'm going to water this. I'm not going to soak it real bad, but I am going to water this to a point to where I start seeing the water coming out of the bottom. When that happens, I'm not going to water this thing again until I start seeing growth and we start warming up a little bit, because that moisture is going to stay in this pot because it's not hot enough to evaporate it out of these pots like it would in the summertime. So, all right, we've got that one done. Let me go ahead and do another one for you guys, and I'll just shut my mouth and you guys can watch me do it just so I can repeat the process. So you can see there's some roots here on this that are starting to come out, right? We've got a new growth coming out of the top here. We've even got a couple branches here that are actually coming off of the main stem, the original stem that was here. So, but I'm going to go ahead and start taking off some of this bottom stuff until I start seeing roots. This stuff's packed in here pretty tight. Okay, I'm starting to see some root growth right here at the bottom, so that's as far as we're going to go down with it, guys. So this right here is already starting to grow roots into this. So this is the pellet portion we're going to use. All right, so let's go ahead and get some soil into our pot. All right, guys, so I hope that helps you. Let me show you what we've got here now. So you can see we've got 2 pots. We've got 2 of our elderberry already planted in here, already going to get a good start on them. And so now what I'm going to do, guys, is these have already started to sprout out. So here's the important thing. If you have freezes coming, if you've got 32 degrees and below coming, put these inside. You can see they've already started to wake up, guys. They were sitting inside the store when I purchased them where it's nice and warm, which means they went from dormant to waking up already. So because of the fact that they're waking up, if we get 32 degrees or lower, all of that green on there is going to die back, and it's going to set this plant back just a little bit from growing. I'm not going to say it's going to kill it, but it'll definitely set it back. And I want the growth that's on there to continue to grow from that point. So if you're going to have freezing weather after the point that you plant these into here, make sure that on the nights that you're going to freeze, that you either bring them inside or you put them in a warmed greenhouse or you put them somewhere that's going to keep them from freezing, because you really don't want this green freezing and dying off on these. But if you're past all of your frosts and you're past all of the freezings, guys, you can set these out anywhere you want to, in your garden, in your greenhouse, wherever it is, and begin treating them like a regular plant. Just like I said, don't water them a lot until you really start seeing some growth on them. You don't want these things waterlogged because those roots will rot. So anyway, guys, I hope that helps you. You know, a lot of you guys, this is probably basic for you. You know, you're like, well, I've done this 100 times, but there are people, I know there's gardeners out there that have just got started with the hobby, just got started with the gardening life, that don't understand how to take a plant that you've got from the store and put it in the pot and get it to start growing successfully. So this is how you do that, guys. I hope this helped you. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, if you would go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. We definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate all you guys watching and subscribing to the channel so that you see all of the new videos that are coming out with us. I'm going to be doing some pruning videos coming up soon, some things like that, just because we've got so many different types of trees that need to be pruned, and I know that's something that people have questions on as well. Guys, if you did like this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, guys, hit the thumbs up. You know, we'll try to make them better for you. But anyway, I appreciate it when you do that. Guys, if you know anybody that needs to know how to do this, or, you know, could use better understanding of how to plant these, or would get a kick out of just watching somebody plant up some plants, guys, if you would go ahead and hit that share button, get this video out there and information out to more people and more gardeners, and just build up the hobby of gardening, guys. We need to be more self-sufficient. We need to learn how to grow our plants. It's very, very important. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed having you here with me. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you. Shalom under the dome. Whew. Dirty fingers. That's pretty normal for a gardener.